Let's get it. Shake it like understand who I is. Not that many gon' do it like this. Bob your head, we can hear my shit, but I'm on my shit. I ain't has no chill.
Hey everyone, we're back.
Oh yeah.
I'm Sean.
I'm King.
And back for another episode, another reaction episode. This week we're doing a Kevin Samuels clip. Don't expect too many of these because we don't want to be known for doing Kevin Samuels clips. His are pretty much, they speak for themselves. If we do them, it's going to be something that just touches on what we want to communicate in our channel. So, like I said, don't expect to see a lot of Kevin Samuels ones. They're fine as they are. A lot of people already do them, so there's no point to, putting too much emphasis on them. So, before ado is in any way further, we're going to jump right on into it.
Now, all this stuff.
Hello, Mr. Samuel.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm okay. How old are you?
I am 29.
All right. So, what are we talking about?
Okay, Mr. Samuel, I just heard you say, if we just give men what they really want, then we will be able to be married and have a good life with the man. I disagree.
Okay.
You have any children?
I do. I have a son.
And were you married?
What was I married when I conceived him? No.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
All right. So I disagree because I'm a social worker. So I'm in the helping field, and I just got out of a long-term relationship. And before,
Was it with the kid's dad?
When I was in the relationship, he would tell me, okay, I want to go back to school. I want to pursue my degree. I want to finish, I want to finish my degree. So I thought like, okay, great. Let me come up with a plan on, let's see how we get your degree. Let's see what type of money we got to put in for you to do this. But when it came down to it, that's not what he really wanted to do.
Why was she making the plans?
Hold on. Are you judging all men based upon what you're talking about?
I'm not, but...
Are you sure? Are you sure? Because you said you did... Okay, you say you disagreed, but I allowed you to speak, and you spent the better part of a minute describing your situation.
And like I was saying at first, like I'm a social worker, so I work with a lot of women, and I work with a lot of single women.
But do you ever get the father side of the story?
No.
Good question.
Thank you.
When I
I'm
say
sorry. Hold on, ma'am. You get one side. There are three sides: hers, his, and the truth. And guess what? I can pull up video after video of women breaking the law, lying, and females believing it. 74-year-old man in Idaho Springs was tasered, framed, and stroked out because his neighbor, who was drunk, high, and had multiple felonies, lied and said he had them. Go look it up, guys. And that guy didn't get anything. And you know what the female cop was over there? This old man, they tasered him in his own home, planted evidence on him, and they were more concerned with the woman who was drunk and high. So, women tend to believe women's sob stories.
That's true.
And you cannot be an intelligent person and tell me just because you're a social worker, hearing one side of the story, knowing you're a single mother predisposed to having a heart for women, that you're getting a balanced picture.
Why is that?
Why is what?
Why is it that the ladies are, whenever they put a story out there, it tends to be believe all women? Okay. Why is that?
Who's believing them? Is it women or is it men? Is it society?
It seems like a culture thing. It seems like society, when a story comes out and you get the heartstrings tugged and everything, that there's more empathy towards women when they tell their side of a story than it is for men to come out and speak up on something. And, culture goes, oh man, man up, and things like that. Whereas if a lady comes out and says that something happens, oh man, like they're pitchforks and people are marching to crucify that guy before evidence or due process for the most part is done.
Yeah.
That seems typical, man. Like, I'm not surprised hearing this.
That's the world. I mean, it sucks, but that's the world. And I think it's also because, women are seen as the weaker race. No, is that race? Gender, sorry, weaker gender. Just physically. So when it comes down to something between a man and a female, a woman, society's going to believe the woman's story because they think that a woman can't defend herself. So obviously the man must be wronging her somehow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Logically, tell me that's what you're doing.
No, what I'm saying is I'm not only am I a social worker, I am a female, and I do work.
What? You are?
I do work with a lot of single women that I have
A
seen.
lot of single women who choose to marry before they carry.
Marry before they carry.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the right thing? Or did he mean
Care before you marry.
carry before you marry?
Yeah.
That's what I think he meant. Because that would make sense. Because marry before you carry, like, that's the logical thing to do.
I think he just slipped up.
Yeah.
Do things out of order, and you don't get the father's story, right?
I'm speaking about dating, Mr. Sam.
No, ma'am, I'm speaking about you're trying to set the table in a bullshit way. Do these women in social work
Look at her face.
come in here and they're married women who have children as a result of marriage and their husbands are still around?
Some, yes, sir.
Some, what percentage? 1 in 4 black women were married. Careful.
I like early how respectful she is.
Married about 6%.
So 94% of these women aren't.
Yes, sir.
So when you say some, I don't understand why y'all do that. Some, if your kid came home and said, Mom, here's my grade, and he gave you an F minus, he said, boy, you didn't get nothing. What did you do? You got an F minus? I got some of them right. You got 6 right, but you got 94 wrong. You'd be like, oh, okay, so you got all right.
Good point.
You're already starting off wrong. And I'm going to tell you, in your relationship, you were wrong too. Let me tell you why. Because you said he decided he wanted to go to school. So something like that. He wanted to go to school. And immediately you pulled out your dick. And immediately you pulled out your dick. And immediately you pulled out your penis. You started figuring out what to do and how to this and how to that. That ain't your job.
I agree.
It was for him to figure it out. He just said what he wanted to do. Did he ask you to go do all that? Did he say, I want to finish school? Did he ask you to go do all that? I hear you.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
What's the
Put
long
up your
pause
dick.
for?
What's the, yeah, exactly. That long part. She knows. Like, there's one part about Kevin Samuels, and I don't know if it's a consultant type of thing where, in my opinion, he does point the argument or point the point that he's trying to put out, and he slants it in a way that forces you to answer it a certain way, in my opinion.
Right.
Okay. And I don't know if it's a debate thing.
It is.
I don't know, if that's like that specific type of tactic. Now, what he said, I agree with in that specific case, but you also brought us up too. She did not want to agree with it. And I think in that specific one, because I don't always agree with what he says.
Same.
Okay. But he does.
He has some good
will
points.
say some things where it's like, oh, that's a real good point.
Yeah.
And a majority of people would hear something like that and nod their head the same way that you and I just did.
Right.
When it comes to this specific point here. But did you see her face and how long it took for her to like...
You know why? What I think happens, because she's not a dumb woman, dumb female. I got to figure out a word. I keep feeling like I'm saying the wrong thing, like it's derogatory. You dumb woman. But no, she's not a dumb woman. I think she is intelligent, but that pause was, she already knew what the right answer was. She knew she was wrong, but she was looking for a way to not be wrong. That's what that pause was.
There you go.
So, I mean, just saying, many of our women, you're listening to 94% of women by your stats who aren't married.
It's an echo chamber.
Who are living at a level where they need social work. And you expect to hear good stories about men, and you don't even pay attention, and you don't listen to the father's standpoint. Well, I tell you what, Miss Social Worker, why don't you go interview the fathers to understand what they're dealing with these mothers, because they can't all be angels.
Yes, sir.
And another thing,
she knows
are you saying that men are not consumers? Where in the world, if you give a market what it wants, does it not buy it if you can afford it?
Well, that's even with me. With if I go to Dillard's, if I go into Dillard's and I get in the Dillard's and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy this perfume. Like I got my mind set, I'm gonna buy this perfume. But if nobody's actually selling it to me, or if I don't feel like I want to spend my money in this store at this time,
No,
I'm not
you
gonna
change.
do it.
Excuse me, man. You changed it. See what you did?
What's she even talking
if I
about?
go into Dillard's and I already got my mind made up, and they don't have it, or I don't
Not
have
that
the money.
they don't
Excuse
have
me.
it, if they don't
Excuse
sell
me.
it to me.
Okay,
Man.
I think I see what she was trying to do.
I want you
so
guys to
lost.
understand this is what they do. This is how their logic works. I said, where do you go if you give a market what it wants and it has the money to purchase and it doesn't buy? You just made up a story where I'll go to Dillard's and I got my mind made up. And that's the problem. Most women don't buy what they should buy. They buy the motherfuckers they make babies with and come into your office needing help with. That's what they do.
He's got a point.
Instead of shopping at Dillard's, they should have been somewhere else.
Filene's.
Man, you're putting
Lord
the
and Taylor.
problem on men. There are not enough men. You're saying that men would not make a lot. Why? Okay, then why? Let's play it the other way. Then why would men, if women were offering men in mass in general, what they wanted, why would these men choose to remain single?
I think greed. I really
What?
do. I think
What?
greed. I think
Let's
can
hear
get
her
something
out.
from her. But let me see what she has to offer. Let me see if it's just a little bit better.
See, guys, what you're doing is, see, women think because everybody will fuck them, they think men have as free sexual options. How does the average man have greed in the sexual marketplace? You know how hard it is for most guys to get laid?
Please inform me.
30%
I
of,
don't.
excuse me,
I've
excuse me,
never-
excuse
I've
me,
never heard
excuse
anybody-
me.
Jeez.
30% of men, 30 or under, report not having sex. 30% of men under 30 are virgins. But you can have somebody like Gabrielle Sidibe. And what do women say? Somebody will fuck her because somebody will. Women think there's something called attraction symmetry. They think just because they can go out and offer their vagina to the market, they know somebody will take it. If I walk out and offer my penis to the market,
Not the same.
somebody will. But will as many people, how about this? If you go in a room of 100 men and say, I'm clean, I got no diseases, I just want to hook up one night stand, no string, no attachments. Out of 100 men, how many think are going to smash?
A large majority.
At least 90.
If we got 30% of virgins, then
No, you mixing things.
Pause. That's not a diversion tactic. Just answer the question. It's simple. It's not hard. Just answer the question. Don't add to it. You all right?
I don't know. We about to find out.
Don't play games. Put your 100 men in a room, 100 men, not 30% virgin, just 100 men. How many going to smash?
I don't know, Mr. Sanders.
Really?
About
Give me a
90%.
number. Heterosexual men, nope. You want to have sex? You clean? How many men you think is smash?
Why does this look like it's a hard math problem or
Maybe
word
80?
problem?
All right.
Okay,
And
80.
if I put 100 women in a room with the same kind of man, average man,
Average guy, no status. 30.
how many women you think gonna fuck?
10%. Either 10% or 10.
60?
Ooh, she went high.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's being silly.
Guys, that's the problem.
She lives in the
They think-
metaverse.
excuse me. Look in the comment section. I understand, man. No, when it's over, women think it is easy for men to get sex. As they think it's just as easy for men to get sex as it is for them.
It's not.
Because
It's
women
not.
only think about, when they talk about the sexual marketplace, you talk about the men you're interested in, not 100% of men. If 60% of men were out here, anyway. So no, that number's high.
I wish he
say
would have
closer
finished
to
that thought.
Right.
best pickup artists, the guys who have all the game, who study this stuff,
30 to 40.
report a 10%
Oh,
close rate.
even the best
10.
pickup artists at
These are the
10?
guys who are the
believe it.
game masters.
Okay.
So You're saying that
Actually,
if you
yeah, you know what?
offer
I do agree with
men
that.
an
I think
opportunity to get women were offering men
30
what
max.
they
Now,
wanted,
Now, if you were flashing your cash,
and they didn't have to
Yes.
be in the game anymore.
it'd be higher.
You're saying they would stay in the game because of greed, implying they could get more.
Yes, sir.
They don't get it, guys. They don't get it. They don't get it. No, ma'am. Ma'am. I just told you that makes no sense.
Give her a shovel.
It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, look at her face. Here we go.
How can guys, if 30% of men aren't having sex, why would they stay in the market if they were getting what they want from a woman?
Bingo.
To gain more.
Gain what?
More of what? What are they already getting if they're virgins?
I think she's speaking about hypergamy, in my opinion.
Sounds like it, but on our side.
But on our side, and
Doesn't exist.
it doesn't exist. Okay? Kevin Samuels is known for saying that men don't cheat, they exercise options.
Right.
Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, yes and no.
Uh-huh.
Because I think comes down to like we also talk about the high value men. Yeah, they're gonna exercise their options, but a guy who's not high value, who's just an average guy, who's out there doing as a dude, trying to find a woman to settle down with, I don't think he's really going to exercise his options, or he has options to exercise. It comes down to the example he just talked about. If you put 100 women in a room, and was it 10 guys?
Yes.
Whatever the example was, it's not going to work out like that. Average guys, we don't get to select from all the women that we want to. We don't get to level up the way she's thinking or talking that we do.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
All right. I agree, by the way.
We're not talking. We're not
No.
talking about the 30.
No. We're going to talk. No, yes, we are, because they are part of the 100. And see, that's the point. This is so foreign of a concept. No offense, man. I really mean no offense. But your mind can't even wrap your head around the concept.
Now I am a bit confused, because didn't he say earlier that we're excluding that 30%, but now the 30% is back into it?
Yeah, he does. He tends to do that sometimes. Takes something out, goes back in later. Can't always be consistent, you know.
It doesn't even compute with you. It's like, well, I don't want to talk about that because that's so far outside of my... And all the men are like, what are you talking about? That's the real world. You can't get rid of the 30. That's there. So if 100% of men are out there and 30% under the age of 30 aren't having sex, if you gave men what they wanted, which is just a fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, childless companion, women were saying, okay, the majority of us are that. You say men would say, instead of taking you and going off and having consistent sex in a relationship, I would rather stay out here dating, spending my money, time, and opportunity for the possibility of sex. The possibility.
We know all men are not spending their money on women to have.
I don't really give a shit about the money aspect. See, you've
That's
lost.
a part of the
No.
day.
But the thing is, I'm not trying to be funny. That's not the point. The point is a bigger point. The point is you have just demonstrated why there's such a disconnect. You ladies have no idea what it's like to be a man. You are so disconnected from us because all your life is spent around talking to women. And
Her defense is going up. You see her face.
And when I tell you about what's going on with men, you still think that, well, that's like this. That's like this. Okay, change it from men to women. You're hungry, right? You ever been to a restaurant and there was a wait and you're hungry?
Before he even says what this example is, I don't know what he's going to say, but how much you want to bet she's going to somehow not answer the question? It's going to be a simple question and some way try to deflect or enter her own way of thinking into it.
So far, she hadn't done it. So I would put my money on the side of she's going to continue that trend, even though we're 13 minutes in. He's asked several questions and she's never just directly answered any of the questions.
Right. I think it's going to keep going the same way.
Right?
Yes.
All right. And there's 2-hour wait, and the next closest restaurant is 40 miles away. And it's gonna be a wait there too.
Sure.
You sitting there waiting, and then they come along and say, "Well, we can sit you and your guest, not at your favorite table. We can sit you at this booth, or we can sit you at the bar, and right now, or you can wait 2 hours. What do you do?"
I'm gonna go sit.
I'm gonna go sit at the bar because I want my
Thank you,
food
because
quick.
human beings are. Thank you, and that's exactly what men do. If you give men what they want, how they want it, they'll sit at the bar. They won't wait to go have a
true.
chance to sit in out there or go to another restaurant. Thank you for making the point that you understand human beings operate on incentives.
She was like, "Damn it, he got me."
That's how men operate too. Men will say, "If you give me what I want right now, I don't need I'll take the bar." The bar is a woman giving men what they want. They won't go out here and say, "Well, I'll try for a better seat." Does that make sense?
Look at the face.
That's a restaurant, of course. We're gonna move faster
Holy
with a restaurant.
shit.
Yeah.
But
Holy
if a man wants to go see their favorite, Mr. Samuel.
See, she's trying to change the scenario
Don't let me talk
just to win.
But no, you're acting like. Do you understand why people use sports analogies to explain the complex concepts?
That's
Do
where
you?
I was going. I do, yeah.
Because people can relate. I used a restaurant analogy because the sexual marketplace seems to be outside of your ability to relate, but you can relate to a restaurant. And now you're going to tell me, no, those things are different.
Mrs. Tammy, when you use
Still
your
ain't here.
analogy, you use your point when you say if you walk in the room and 100 men in there, how many do you want to have sex? You took the 30 out of it.
What does it matter?
When it comes to my
No. I said if you walked into a room with 100 men and you said I'm down to fuck 100 of you, how many would smash?
But you took the 30% of virgins out of that 100.
No, ma'am. That's the sexual marketplace. There's a millions. And let's take it that way. Even if it was 30% virgins, those virgins would fuck you. If you were offering free pussy to a virgin, no cost, no shit. Are you crazy?
So it's not. It's and then there goes to show you again. Your other point is invalid.
How is she?
it's not.
Go ahead and how is she instructing people? How is she trying? If she can't understand these simple concepts, how is she supposed to be helping people get better?
That was a point that I was going to say a little bit earlier, but I wanted to see if she was going to improve. I wanted to see if she was going to do better and
Be best.
People of the world. See, this is a social worker. This person has responsibilities given by, I think it's the state. Like they operate within the state. I don't know if it's a county thing or whatnot, but they have a position. I think that they're underpaid, but also might be underqualified too.
Right?
And I don't know her reputation. I don't know how well she is at the social work aspect of what she does. I can't speak to that. I don't know if she's been doing it a long time, how much her training is. But I can't watch this video and trust that, in my opinion, she's making logical, sound choices.
Definitely not.
In environments that social workers tend to go in. Because let's be real, we wouldn't have social workers if roses always smelled good and the sky was blue and there weren't any social issues. We have social workers because certain families or units can't function or operate within I'm not going to say normal, I'm going to say a healthy boundary.
Yeah.
And that's where social workers come in to try to even out the boat as the boat's sailing down the water, so to speak.
Right.
Okay. They're there to help navigate certain things or remove certain issues if it's deemed inappropriate to our society standards, right? How is this person qualified to do a job like that?
Because she went to school for it. And we all know just because you go to school and get a piece of paper that says that, you completed it, doesn't mean it's right for you, doesn't mean you're doing the right thing. A lot of people can go to college and take the courses and remember what's in the books they're reading and take the tests and pass the test, but there's still an aspect of that of humanity, I guess, in there. You can't just go off the textbook. But with her, like I said, I think she's in an echo chamber as far as her clients, because she's basically the same as her clients. She says she's a single mom. She wasn't married, and she deals with single black females. And I guess she said that they tend to have children too. So while her clients probably feel like they're getting something out of it, it's more or less, I would feel or venture to guess, kind of girlfriends talking and kind of, feeling the same way about certain situations that are similar, So.
And then, you know what?
Dating,
I want you
when it
guys to
comes
understand.
money.
I'm going to upload this. This is really female logic. This is really what it is. This is really what it is. She thinks she's really making points.
I am.
Look at oh man.
I am, Mr. Samuel.
She just wants to be right.
I wholeheartedly, I really feel like men are greedy. Men are really.
That's the problem. They always feel no facts.
To the highest bidder, whoever has the most value, whoever parents, whoever family comes from the most fortune, that's the woman that wins. I have worked many places before I became a social worker.
This is why women shouldn't be in charge of nothing.
Can I finish?
Oh, don't do that. This is why women should be in charge of nothing. I'm serious, man. You're talking about a
I'm not touching that.
Out of men, 100% of men. What percentage of men are you talking about?
I'm talking about 75% of men.
So,
Wait. No, she did not. No, she did not just say that the behaviors that she's putting out there, 3 out of 4 men would act the way that she's describing and putting out there. Did she just say that?
That's what she said.
Hey, where's the equitableness of responsible men and responsible women? Where do these guys meet up at? I would like to know where this mixer is happening, because if you're out there on the dating market and this is a representative of the dating market, okay, this person has chaotic thoughts in my mind. They would strive around chaos. I don't think it's far to say that you and we prefer non-chaos in our lives.
I prefer quiet.
At peace, quiet, and freedom.
Yeah.
And I think that my type of lifestyle to her would be boring, and she would not. If we were in a relationship, I'd be boring to her.
Yeah.
And
she wouldn't stick around.
She would not stick around. But instead of just leaving out of my life, if I didn't just immediately kick her out, she would make my life a living hell before she left. I can't. I don't know. Does not compute.
Ma'am, the 75% doesn't even line up with the 30% of the virgin. You can't be greedy in a virgin.
But you just said that if I was to walk in a room and the 30% of virgins was there, the virgins would have.
Ma'am, do you understand? Do you understand an example and a closed? Okay. See,
look at the face.
There's something called like an example where you're putting like a little test case over here, and then there's the real world. You're an educated woman. You should be able to bounce between these concepts.
See, I like that he said that.
Right.
I mean, listening to her talk
is painful.
While it's painful, the parts that I'm picking up is when she's talking back to him, she's respectful. She's Mr. Samuels. And she said, yes, sir, for a majority of the times in replying back to him.
Right.
Okay. Recognizing that, Kevin Samuels probably old enough to be my father. You know what I'm saying? So she's giving him respect on his platform and she's listening to him. I can tell, like, with the exception of her expressions that she gives when he's talking, she is listening, but she's listening to rebut instead of actually hearing, processing, and trying to maybe understand another way of thinking. She's ready to give her way of thinking instead of trying to understand what he's delivering in his message.
Right.
And that's what's painful to me. I'm curious how long he keeps this up with her.
They're trying to make it all the same thing. And this is what I told you guys. Men's minds are like waffles. We can compartmentalize and logically move through things. 1 0 1 0, open, close, on, off. We can do that much easier.
Yes.
Women's minds are like spaghetti. Everything touches. Their logic runs through their feelings. That's why she keeps saying, I feel. Because to them, it's all one stream of consciousness. So to her, she really believes she is just on this logical path. And she doesn't realize that all the men are sitting back saying, you're talking about a small set of men extrapolating it out to all.
Yep.
Men are greedy. How can men, the average black man in this country earns $42,000.
Keep going.
Okay?
Keep going.
That's $21 an hour. How can a man whose average earner be greedy in the sexual marketplace?
Let's get it. Shake it like understand who I is. Not that many gon' do it like this. Bob your head, we can hit my shit, but I'm on my shit. I ain't have no chill. I'm who I are, I'm who I is. Taylor Susan, I play the part. Buckify, how you mesmerize. Black Austin Pies, man, letter I. I'm stupid, then again, oh so clever. On my loony, pour that lever. Talk my shit, I'm talking hella flow, baby. You